Coming up, Cam Edwards, an expert on the Second Amendment and how it's been affected by the coronavirus. Welcome to this Real American Heroes Coronavirus Special Edition. I'm Oliver North. And our guest today is my friend Cam Edwards. He's the editor of BearingArms.com and host of Bearing Arms, Cam and Company. Cam, first of all, you and I have hunted together. Is that same road where you and I took my hunting dog out?
You know, it is not the same road, but it's very, very close to Farmville, Virginia, where you and I got to spend that great afternoon. And I got to tell you, that was so much fun. When all this is over, you've got to come back down. We got to do that again. You can count on it, brother. Look, let's get to the facts here, because this is helpful to all of our audience. Several state and local governments have limited the sale of firearms. It seems to me that those words, "shall not be infringed," are now in jeopardy. Am I wrong? No, I don't think you're wrong at all. The good news is we have only seen a few states do this. The bad news is that in these few states, millions of Americans are right now being deprived of their ability to keep and bear arms because they can't acquire a firearm. And if you've got the right to keep and you've got the right to bear, I think you've got the right to buy. And unfortunately, we've seen Washington State, Massachusetts, New Mexico's governor, and several others have, declared that gun stores are not essential businesses, that they must shut down. There were a period of about 2 weeks in New Jersey where Governor Murphy not only ordered gun stores to close, but he actually shut down the background checks. So if any stores were open and doing firearms transfers, they couldn't do so because they didn't have access to the background check system. The good news is, Colonel, that we have seen each and every one of these efforts met with lawsuits. Second Amendment organizations have sort of coalesced together and are pushing back against these things. So, in the meantime, for those folks who are sort of living under these infringements, hopefully there is relief on the way. I'm a little surprised that some of the previous opponents of the Second Amendment are now standing up for the Second Amendment. Is this something you didn't expect? Yeah, this has been really surprising, honestly. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. I mean, I don't think this guy has ever done any favor for any gun owner, but he declared that gun stores were essential businesses. Actually took that step and said, yes, they are essential. They remain open. As a matter of fact, the Illinois State Police actually are extending the firearms owner ID cards and the concealed carry cards so that if your license expires during this coronavirus pandemic, you're not going to be violating the law for continuing to carry a firearm in self-defense. Democrat Governor Andy Beshear in Kentucky declared gun stores are essential businesses. And even in the state of Pennsylvania, Governor Tom Wolf had originally tried to shut down gun stores. He was sued. The Pennsylvania State Supreme Court issued a divided opinion upholding his authority to shut down these gun stores. But 3 justices on the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania said, listen, we think this is an infringement. There's no reason why you can't allow these stores to open. Have them open by appointment only. Have them clean in between customers. But people's rights are being denied here. And even though the governor didn't have to do that, that's actually what he chose to do. And so gun stores were allowed to open up in Pennsylvania. Listen, I don't think any of these guys have had a huge change of heart. Unfortunately, I think this is, good politics, if nothing else, for some of these anti-gun politicians. But it has been refreshing to see in some of these circumstances. Cam, we've seen record gun sales during the month of March, particularly to women. What's what I call the Disarm America movement have to say about that women are buying guns in unprecedented numbers? Yeah, they absolutely hate this fact because they're, as you well know, Colonel, I mean, their attitude or their definition of gun safety is don't own a gun. Anecdotally, I think it's fair to say we may have seen more than 1 million Americans purchase firearms for the very first time just in the month of March. And I think that those numbers are continuing in April. So they're terrified about what this means for their movement because now you have 1 million Americans who are exercising their right to keep and bear arms. They're not going to give that right up. They just started exercising it. And I think you've got an unknown number of people who want to be able to exercise their right, but they can't do so because of these shutdown orders. And I think that those folks are going to be standing up for the Second Amendment going forward. At least I hope that they will be. So gun control groups, they're lashing out. They're claiming that the only reason why people are buying guns is so they can shoot the coronavirus, which is, again, nonsense. They are, talking about how it's more dangerous for you to have a gun in the home right now than it is for you to be disarmed and defenseless. They're ignoring the number of criminals that are being let loose and in jails and prisons across the country, the orders in some cities not to arrest people for some crimes. They're ignoring all of that. They're ignoring the very real concerns that so many of us have right now, not just about what we're going through today, but what life might be like 2 weeks, 2 months from now.
Yeah. My concern is that the Second Amendment, the pro-Second Amendment community needs to help make sure that these new gun owners get trained, which is challenging right now because so many ranges have been shut down. I mean, you and I we're in Virginia. We've got our own set of problems here in Virginia.
Absolutely.
Is that a nationwide issue?
I don't know if it's a nationwide issue, but certainly there are some of those states, like in Virginia, gun stores remain open, but the governor has declared that indoor gun ranges are indoor places of amusement. Like bowling alleys or movie theaters. And so indoor ranges have been shut down. And you're right, that dramatically impacts the ability of these new gun owners to get trained. Other states, we are seeing moves against gun ranges, even if gun stores remain open. The good news is, I think in that aspect of finding that online training, we have seen groups like the National Shooting Sports Foundation, NRA, U.S. Concealed Carry Association, as well as individuals. I think Ryan Kleckner, Army Ranger, sniper, and Second Amendment attorney now. He's got a website called Guns University. I think it's gununiversity.com. But he's got a section called Guns 101. And it is just chock full of videos and articles. It's a great resource for new gun owners. It's not the same as getting to the range and getting that hands-on training, but I think if there are new gun owners out there, if you take a look at these videos, you will at least know enough to be safe and responsible with that gun in your home. And then when you can get to a range, you can add to your training.
Cam, last question. 50 years from now, our great-grandkids, my great-grandkids, your grandkids are going to be wondering what the heck happened back in 2020. What do you want your great-grandkids to know about what happened and what you did about it?
I want my grandkids to know that I didn't lose my mind. I didn't panic. I didn't freak out, that I stayed level-headed, that I was able to look at this data and to, keep our family safe by socially distancing. As you well know, my wife's fighting cancer right now, so she is an at-risk individual. She's got lung cancer. This is a respiratory disease that attacks the lungs. So, we're going above and beyond to keep my family safe. But at the same time, I want my grandkids to know that I stood up for the individual freedom and the liberty that we have in this country when petty tyrants were trying to threaten it under the guise of public safety. I want my family to know that, we stood strong. We did the right thing to keep ourselves safe, but we also did the right thing to keep ourselves free.
God bless you, buddy. Thank you, Cam, for being with us and being an inspiration to me and lots of other millions of Americans.
It's so good talking with you, Colonel. Thank you so much, sir.
We're going to continue documenting the history of this never-before crisis with these special coronavirus episodes. If you found this episode to be informative, helpful, or encouraging, please take the time right now to subscribe and let me know. Until next time, remember, Semper Fidelis is more than a slogan for U.S. Marines. Always faithful is a way of life. Now, America, press on, press on.